Okay, the idea of the video is to explain to you all the headaches you guys may have had in 2014 with the Portatec product. So I'd like to start off by saying we apologize and we thank you for your patience. We wish we could do this live here in Montreal. Because of the distance, unfortunately we can't. So we're going to do our best to a video to explain to you why you had all the headaches in the world with the product in 2014 as far as water infiltration goes, air, and also the pressure on our doors and the frames. So once again, I wanted to, my focus here is mainly for the installers because you guys are the ones faced with the headaches throughout the year. Yes, the salesman and Jody as an owner also got faced with headaches, but you guys are the ones that are grinding for our doors on the job site and making sure Mrs. Jones is happy so everyone gets paid. So thank you for your patience. I appreciate the fact that SIS is still with us in 2015. So thank you very much. Okay, so to roughly explain to you why we had headaches, we had to change our product for the new Canadian building code. Okay, it wasn't a Portatec choice. It's across Canada. It's not a Quebec thing. It's not an Alberta thing. It's a new building code for Canada. What they were stipulating was very simple. As you probably already know, windows have B and A and C for water, air, and structure. Doors never had that. So what the new Canadian building code is saying is any Tom, Dick, and Harry can build a door in their garage and get away with it because there's no codes for doors. So that has changed as of January 1st, 2014. So by doing so, they then obliged all manufacturers to get their doors retested because our doors were all tested 7 years ago for Energy Star. That is out the window. We all had to start from scratch. Now, has every manufacturer done these tests? No. Why? Because a lot of people, like Plygem for example, make windows and doors. So most manufacturers concentrated on their windows because it's their bread and butter, and their doors is secondary. Us, we only make doors, so we had to make changes immediately. We weren't happy about it, but we had to. What I can tell you is that by doing these tests, we did realize that by the things they asked us to change, the door becomes a lot more sound as far as water, air, and structure. A lot more. Hard to believe right now because you guys had problems, but it truly is, if it's done properly. So what the new building code is pretty much saying was the main focus was on the thermal break and the bottom sweep of our doors. That was the main focus. The other focuses was on weather stripping, positioning, and caulking. They wanted more caulking on doors. So I'm going to start by, at the bottom of our door with the corner piece I have here. Okay. Hopefully I'm not going too fast. And if so, Jody will call me later after you guys watch this video and we can do a bit of Q&A, questions and answers. I want to make sure that when this is done, you guys are comfortable again with the Portatec product and don't have any more issues on the installation level. That's the whole idea behind this. Okay, so if we look at the door corner, what changed is the thermal break, okay, this piece here on the sill, and the bottom sweep changed, okay. Now, if we focus in the corner, okay, our old corners, which I'm going to go and get right now, give me a second, back? Yep. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so as you can see, if you look at the old corner, this is the old thermal break with the old bottom sweep. When you close the door, okay, properly, this here, as you can see the bubble here, it won't do it here because I don't have a frame here. But you see the bubble rubber would bend inside. You see that? Good? Alright. Talking to Alex, by the way, when I say that. Hi. That being said, it bends in. Why did it bend in? Because water would hit the door, it drop down, and go into the groove here, okay, which you had holes punched. Water would eventually seep out the front in these holes. Okay? So what the Canadian Building Code was saying, once we tested it with this, is this doesn't provide near enough. When the water pressure was strong, it would overflow into the house. Okay? Basically that's how it worked. You close your door, the bubble would bend towards the inside, it would go in here, and then seep out the front of water. But the problem, once again, if the rain was strong or the wind was strong, it wouldn't provide. Dirt gets in the holes, and then you'd have clients call you saying, I have water coming in. Okay? That's what the building code said. In the corners, the fuzzy pads were square, and the Polyflex stopped at this height. The weather stripping here was right to the ground with no caulking and no fuzzy pads behind it. That's how our doors were assembled before. Okay? If we go to the new corners, how it's supposed to be done, the new thermal break, as you can see, is on an incline. It's not straight. There's no holes. There's no nothing for the water to come out. So you can say, well, how does water come out? That's where the bottom sweep comes in. If you look at the new bottom sweep, okay, you see how the first two, this first one doesn't touch anything, but it's straight, and the second one doesn't touch anything because it's also straight. Now, how it works is water comes down the door, and instead of going inside, it follows the door and comes out. That's why this doesn't touch, and it's straight. It's as simple as that. The second one, why the second one doesn't touch, that's a windmill. Okay, so it's the same effect like how I explain it as Walmart. When you walk into Walmart, you have that air wall, so no air gets inside. Same idea. Air comes in, it's like a tornado in here, and comes back out. So it's like an air pocket if you want. Okay? Then the other two, now this is a bit harder because right now it's supposed to be like this because the door doesn't have a frame. The other two come leaning on, and then your big bubble one, which is the main one, it comes pressure on there. Okay? Now when we assemble our doors, there's now sealant, caulking put here and sealant here. So water can't come and rot your frame because you have a frame here that's also wood like this. So we put sealant there and we put sealant here between our frames assemblies because the building code is asking for it. Okay? Our bottom sweep is still adjustable. You still have this cap and it's still adjustable in height. But for the installers, when you're done installing your door and everything is A1 on your level, you should back up and make sure that obviously your bottom sweep is straight and that your first fin is about 1/8 from the thermal break. It shouldn't be touching and it shouldn't be nor a 1/4 inch. 1/8 is a perfect installation. Okay? And it's still adjustable, guys. So if you have a door that's crooked or a home that's really crooked and you want to play with the bottom sweep, it's still adjustable. Okay. So, several reasons why you guys were having headaches. We're going to take all the blame, but some of these things was done from the engineering of these new components. Okay? The problem was with the bottom sweep we were receiving at the beginning, well, they were back order. So we had the new thermal brakes, didn't have the bottom sweeps. The engineers were telling us we can use our old bottom sweep in the meantime with this. We listened to the engineers. Was not working. We had our doubt. Once again, I don't have an engineer working here, so we trusted his drawings. It wasn't compatible. Created a bunch of problems. Our fault. We had to go back on the drawing board and figure it out. Then we got new bottom sweeps and the new thermal brakes were back order. So that was a big mess in 2014, getting all the new components. Because the old components, guys, we can't get anymore. It's done. They're out. No suppliers make them anymore. So, once we had the right components, then we shouldn't have had any more problems. That's where Portatec became at fault. It's all in the assembly. Come back looking at the corner here. Our fuzzy pad cannot be square. It has to be trafficked around the thermal brake. And because we were cutting it square on the new ones, well, you'd see daylight in the corner. That was one reason. The other thing, you notice the Polyflex comes down right down to the thermal brake. The other one didn't, and the guys were cutting it here. That was also creating a problem. And if you look, sorry, I'm going to open this. Behind, we put another fuzzy pad, we're good. And behind the fuzzy pad, we put a blotch of caulking. It all sounds a bit like tedious, but if we don't put that fuzzy pad, and we don't put the blotch of caulking before the fuzzy pad, put this traffic, the Polyflex right down to the ground, and the bottom sweep perfectly adjusted, you're going to see daylight in the corners and air and water is going to get in with time. Hence the headache you're having with 3-4 of our doors. So, not major to fix, but major when you don't know the headache. When we got this, what we're doing now, by the way, guys, we were hosting the majority of the installers this year. Our focus was on the installers, to apologize, to thank them for their patience, and also to get feedback from you guys. What are you not liking about our doors? Because often people think because we're a manufacturer, we should know everything. It's not true. The kings at the end of a job is the installer, because you're the ones putting it in a home, you're the ones fixing it in a fixed spot. You're going to have daylight from the sun, which we don't have in the plant. You're going to have all the water, the air. Sure, we got our doors tested, but our doors tested this way. And it passed much higher than this way. And I say much, much higher, which we're going to get all of our official ratings soon. So you're going to have them on our website, our new website, the ratings. That being said, it is a good system if it's done properly. Trust me, it is. Problem was, components and assembly line weren't doing it properly for a good 3-4 months in 2014. So we got a lot of doors we had to fix. Hopefully that answers your questions when it comes to the daylight. On issues you're having right now with certain clients, we're going to be sending components for Jody so you can fix this with fuzzy pad, polyflex, new bottom sweeps. The other thing that we were doing, if you look over here, bring it in here, is to fix the problems we're putting before the big bubble on the inside. We're putting little fuzzies there and fuzzies there. That also takes away from the daylight. It's all things we noticed over the months and studying and fixing and going to service calls to realize all these things need to be done at every door. Okay. The other issue that we were having, okay, the major issue to the installers was the pressure on our doors, okay? Now, if you just look over here on a door here, okay? Portatec has always been renowned that when they shut a door, okay, they can't just close it when it closes, okay? In the history of Portatec. We always have that little extra push and a little extra tug to open it. We know clients don't like it. Honestly, too bad. The reason why is because we chose a magnetic weather stripping on the head and the handle side that needs that extra push to get its full capacity of air tightness, okay? So if the client says, no, I don't like it, I want a door just closes like that, well then you can adjust the plates. Then we don't warranty any more water and air infiltration because we want that complete. Now that being said, in 2014 that pressure was major, okay? We didn't fully understand why at the beginning. Was it the placement of the hinges? We played with the hinges. It didn't fix the problem. All to find out two things through the process of it all. Is that in 2012 we changed our jam sizes. For what reason I don't know. And when I say the jam size, okay, is the space here. Okay? The space where your door would close and come on the weather stripping. That space was modified, creating way too much pressure on our door. So first thing we did is we modified our jam sizes. We redraw the technical drawings, sent them to our supplier, so we got new jam sizes, and that's the space here. So by adding space there, creates less pressure when you close your door. Because we all know a good installation, your door should be flush with your frame. But in some of our doors, if you were installing the door flush, the client had to put their shoulder to lock it, outside they had to pull to open it. We've heard them all and we've seen them all. So by putting more space there, allows you guys to put your door flush with not having a great pressure here. You're always going to have a bit more pressure than the average door. That's normal. But it's got to be acceptable pressure, which it wasn't in 2014. So once again, we apologize. So that's one thing we modified is our jam sizes for your slab. The other thing we realized, we go back to the corner piece here, is that our old adapters, I don't have one here in front of me, but our old adapters were made of PVC, okay, in the corner here, similar to what this looks like. This is aluminum, but it was a PVC one, and it was very thick, okay, and it wrapped around the wood, okay, and the weather stripping didn't come and sit onto the wood, it sat onto the adapter. I don't have one here, unfortunately, with me, but so what we changed was, if you notice the adapter here, it's aluminum. It's a vinyl wrap, but aluminum adapter. Because that what it allows us is that the adapter goes around onto the wood and this sits here. By putting the PVC adapter, it gave us a thickness of 1/16 more. So when you came and closed your door, you lost a 1/16 in space here again. So now, starting February 2nd of this year, all this stuff we've been talking about from the beginning has been corrected. The jams have been corrected, and all of our adapters, even if you order a vinyl wrap, it's the aluminum adapter to give us that extra space we need. And at the same time, why we did that, it's a nicer adapter, it standardizes our production, and thirdly, the new building code is also saying that the doors don't have enough caulking. So originally they wanted us to put caulking between the cladding and the adapter. That's ridiculous. We all know that. So what we convinced them of was if we do a wider adapter, we can put caulking behind the adapter, and you won't see it, like here, you don't see any caulking. And before we go and slide in our cladding, there also has to be caulking in between the adapter and the cladding. There has to be. They want caulking to avoid any wood rotting, avoid water infiltration. That's what they want. So there is caulking there, but you won't see it. The other place you won't see it is before we assemble all of our frames now, between the both pieces of wood, there's lines of caulking there. I will be sending drawings to Jody to have written and pictures, instructions. But it's just instructions for you guys to know how our doors are assembled, because it's not a selling point. It can be, but it gets very, very technical. The other place where there's caulking, guys, there's also caulking in all four corners of our doors. So we put caulking in all four corners behind the weather stripping, which weren't done before. Okay. Another problem that you guys may have been faced is magnetic weather stripping on the handle side shrinking. Okay. That was puzzling to us because we'd call our supplier and they were saying we don't have a problem with the material, it's not shrinking. We don't have a problem. Hey, we said, listen, we're not cutting them short, and after a few months they're almost a quarter inch short at the top. They're all shrinking on the handle side, the magnetic one at the corner top. So, once again, is it us, is it them, to find out that the manufacturer who makes these is in Florida. So, they don't have the drastic weather changes we have to have them to shrink. So what we're doing to avoid that problem, eventually they told us to staple them. We're not going to staple our weather stripping. Two reasons why. Risk of ripping it when we're stapling it, and two, if there's a service call, it becomes very difficult for you guys. So what we did instead is by putting caulking in the corners, we're going to sit the weather stripping in the caulking. So push it towards the side and then bend it into a blotch of caulking in the bottom corner. So it's going to hold it there. That's also been modified since February 2nd of this year. So weather stripping, shortening, we seem to have fixed the problem. Air in the corners, we seem to fix the problem, and the pressure. Why we know we fixed it is the clients who came down here, I chose a handful of installers who I trust and who I'm close with, and I asked them, negative, positive, we need to get feedback. We're only going to get better together. Even knowing the manufacturer doesn't make us perfect, and far from it, and we need your help to get better. So once again, everything since February 2nd that you would have received or ordered after that date, all this should be corrected. And I need your feedback. And in 2 months from now, if you get light in a corner or too much pressure on the door, I need to know immediately, because everything should be fixed down on my floor here at the plant. It's basically what we've changed. Okay, guys? There's nothing more than that. It's enough. It was enough headaches for you guys. We apologize. It doesn't make us a bad company. It just makes us a company who's in the process of changing components and had to learn. Any door manufacturer who's honest, that did do the new building code changes, had headaches. I know because I'm friends with other owners of companies, and they had headaches. Different types of headaches because they didn't use the same components as us, but they had headaches. It's a learning process, and once again, we thank you for your patience. So, to finish up, what I would have told you if you were live at this point, we'd be going out for a beer and a bite to eat to thank you for 2014. Unfortunately, I can't do that. So, I told Jody that I'll be sending you guys a credit to the company, and that being said, use it as you guys want. It's for me to say thank you, and I'd love to do it live with you guys, but I can't, unfortunately. That's it, guys. From there, any questions, Jody's going to call me. We can do a conference call. It's important to me that this is understood, and you trust us that we made the changes to fix the problem. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.